Okay, so today is going to be episode 3 of my anti-spell gimmick deck as a mage, and of course the one thing that's a little bit annoying, turn up the heat with Hearthstone's first ever mythic skin. I saw that, like a $60 fucking bundle. Jesus Christ, dude. It looks okay, but I mean, mythic hero skin featuring smashing animations, unique board graphics, and more. So I guess that's the only difference with it being mythic, is the fact that it has board graphics, because the animations are kind of already in the other 3D ones. Event starts in 2 days. I don't really care too much about that. But no, the only annoying thing about this one is I had done the Druid gimmick deck earlier before, and the problem is that I don't know why it does this on Twitch, like where you open it and it's already like on your phone. Oh, there we go. And it'll like already be playing a stream, even if you don't want to see it. So then you can't see chat or anything either. It's like some new feature, so they get more. You open the app and you're already watching somebody, either somebody you were watching last time or just some random channel it'll sometimes do, right, that you follow. Or a lot of the time when I'm doing it, I'm not even logged in. So what you have is, I had done on this same little setup, we had done the anti-spell Druid with the respect to trying to buff everything, right? We do the AoE buffs and all the elusive minions, but the problem that you have is that you're able to... I needed Sogoth and other things. So in the course of doing that, I said, I probably wrote it here too, the Trog and Sogoth I needed for that. So I thought, oh, over the course of playing that for a couple months that I did, right? I keep doing these gimmick decks for like 1 or 2 months each. I thought, oh, I'd have enough dust to craft it, but then I still didn't. So now I did it as Druid, and I didn't have enough for Sogoth and the Trog Zor, which were very fitting for that one too. They're very similar, right? You're just sort of switching out counterspell for certain things that druids have, like Tyrantus and the 6/8. It almost feels fitting to do that one again, but I won't, right? Like there's a few good elusive minions for, there's like that 6 mana where, oh, it's the 7 mana 6/8, right? So druids had a couple good evasive elusive minions, but the point is, yeah, in the whole time playing Druid, I didn't have enough to make either Sogoth or that. And now even as playing a Mage, I probably still won't have enough. I'm just screwed when it comes to dust and everything. And I don't play enough to really farm it out. So I'll just make the best of what I have here. But I also want to introduce, because this is episode 3. So next episode will be like the last episode of doing this, quote unquote. But I'll still keep it around, but then I add in another gimmick deck in the second month. Like, I'll play this one till I lose, then I'll play the other one till I lose, and keep rotating back and forth. But the problem that you have with that is I want it to be something to do with also Yogg. So I not only don't have enough dust to complete this one, but I also, you know, with Sogoth and stuff, but I also won't have enough to do that, like with a Yogg roulette wheel, you know, crazy sort of rotation when it comes to like random spell. Just play the Wheel of Yogg and play the other Yogg and play the deck of cards, play as many spells as you can, right? Everything like that, just to sort of stand spells, which seems like it would be good as a mage or a rogue even. And rogue is going to be my next class to do a gimmick deck with anyway, so it might be more fitting to do it there, but I kind of would want to try it here. Yeah, you might say, oh, this breaks the rule because this is an anti-spell deck, so how can I have spells in there? But the only 4 spells I have are 2 counter spells and 2 spellbenders, or I guess not. We have like splitting image and stuff too, but I mean they're all things that complement it. So like you try to attack into an elusive minion to finally try to kill it. You can't kill it any other way, and even that fails. Or even like what's the other one, like duplicate when it dies. So I guess that's not even entirely true, but it still effectively is the same principle, that you're really like milking your elusive minions. It reminds me a lot of Raphael from Yu-Gi-Oh, where he's like, he has his guardian minions and he just won't let them die. So it's like, I'm protecting, and every time they die he brings them right back. So it's like he gets so pissed when you kill them. So the point is that even though he's like a villain, he's so loves his minion so much. It was the same thing here, where you're like, you know, you can't target it, so I'm protecting them that way. Then you can't even attack into it because I'll, you know, control the board or something. So you try to use an AoE, they're going to be too tanky for that, you know, with the Druid AoE buffs, for example, right? You're going to make them too strong, or with Lorthamar. And then you're also going to be, you can't ping them, you can't use spells on them, you try to AoE them, but they're too strong at times. And then even when you finally attack into them and try to kill them, you either get a splitting image or you get a duplicate, so you get them right back. So it's like, or you get another copy. So there is an element to that that's very satisfying, that every attempt that they make to try to do something, they just can't do. Right, and of course it's not really a very good deck, but the one thing we've been realizing is the simple fact that if I get Lorthamar on a good curve, that's the only chance I have to beat actual good decks at times, right? Because then you start getting in these crazy values that they won't be able to deal with all of them, like 14-14 Draconid and stuff like that. And what's ironic is even saying that, oh, I want Sogoth just because it was one that I would use, it's not even that good. Like, the Draconid's way better than Sogoth. That's a 5-9 for 9 versus a 7-7. There's the same total statting. It's just like, it's still sort of fun and appropriate to have him, but it almost wouldn't be the right idea. Even having the Trog is arguably not the greatest, because you look at the lengths he went to, and now, oh, you get punished for playing the spell. Even though this thing isn't elusive, right? It still punishes you. And so now you're pretty much almost fucking dead, because look at how annoying this is going to be. I guess you could ping this still pretty easily, but, you know, you are in sort of dire straits already, although not really, because you have too much health. Now that was a waste, because you could have pinged that and then killed this. Right, that would have been... That was objectively a misplay. What is this, a bot or something? This thing can be really good, especially if you get the buff off with it. With respect to, you know, then it becomes a 4-16 with lifesteal. That saved me a couple games, because the one thing I don't have in this deck is any defensive stuff, so I rely entirely on taunts. And if the taunts don't work, you know, you're not going to have any healing for sure. How convenient that he has a lot of fucking abilities that are going to bypass the need to play spells. Like, what a perfect card to deal with this. Like, not that there aren't a number of cards that you have today, but it's just annoying. I don't even know, like, what... kind of a weird spot to be in, or this is always very annoying, because again, if they don't have an AoE specifically for it and they don't have anything to kill it on the board, like, it's good on a turn where like their board is empty and they're gonna play something big, so you play this first and it's like, oh shit, now I'll play a 7 mana crazy minion, but then it's gonna get killed, right? Because you can't do anything about it. Or even if they were playing like a 5 cost minion with 2 left, they would normally ping it, but now they can't, so it becomes very awkward. That was very crushing in Arena, right? Like, it's turn 8 and they have an 8 cost minion in their hand and they're gonna play it on curve, and then you play that and now they're fucked because they have to change their whole turn, right? They can't play on curve because they have to account for that, and they can't even do it with their hero power or anything. So I guess when you think about the hero power, you're really thinking about the mage one so much of the time, right? Because like, oh, you keep saying ping, like no other class is really working like that, but you just kind of imagine that, like, it's so much more impactful than all the other hero powers. You can do both of these again. Right, like warriors, what the fuck is the armor doing for you in an arena, right? That's such a dog shit hero power for that context. You could do this, but I mean, what if we do it like that? You want one of these elusive things to stick, even though I'm bloviating about it. See, I'm going to lose this game 100% because I didn't get Lorthamar on turn 7. That's pretty much how the game works, or how this deck works. If you get Lorthamar, you have a chance. If you don't, you're fucked. And the way it originally worked was you were basically just fucked anyway. Like, it was always bad, but that's why power creep goes both ways. Like, all the other cards in the game and decks have gotten better over time since I used this originally, which was before even Galakron, like many, many years back. A lot of the elusive minions weren't even in the game, but the point is, to the extent that I played these decks, they weren't very good, right? Even then. But also the decks you're going against weren't that good, so it kind of evened itself out. This was even worse, but the decks you're facing were worse, so it was still suboptimal, but it wasn't, you know, completely terrible, but it was still bad. Now you would think, oh, it'd be much worse, but it's actually not that much worse, because now you have Lorthamar and other good cards to complement it too, so... You know, even that's like making the best of power creep as a gimmick deck, that there's still going to be certain things that benefit you, right? That single-handedly fucks you over so bad because, or I mean, Lorthamar is so good. This is just good as a curve play, but like, there is no win condition here. Like, there's nothing. I can't win this game. It's impossible. I may as well just concede, because again, that's the only way. Even when you get that, you still might not win, but there was that vague chance we had to push them down at the beginning because we had, you know, we had Lothab and a decent board, but now it's like they're going to drag it out like it's just in another universe with what they're doing. But yeah, see, even that, they have to... Couldn't they do that to my face, though, too? Like, you'll force them to use their spells on their own minions if it's like a good effect like that, but like, or at least the likelihood, if it's a random effect, it's not going to be able to target mine, so it's much more likely to target yours. Yeah, you're trying to keep some semblance of board control, and if you can't do that, you're fucked, because right, that's the only thing you have going for you. But no, the only other spells we have besides ones that specifically counter spells are the you have the, what do you call it? You have counterspell, you have spellbender, and then you have splitting image when one of these gets attacked, and then duplicate when one of them dies. And I guess it could be for something that isn't even elusive, because I do have a few minions in there that aren't. Trogzor is really one that you want to have. Like, that's very, very iconic of a play, because what you would do is you would have a board of a couple elusive minions anyway, possibly a taunt. So now they finally like, oh, I've been saving up this removal the whole game. So then I go to target it, right? Trogzor, like, oh, he has elusive Draconid and elusive this and elusive that. And then, oh, he finally plays something I can target. I've been waiting the whole game. And then he gets absorbed by Spellbender. So then Trogzor not only stays around, but he also summons a 3/5 Trog too, so you punish them so hard for it, right? It is like a sadistic thing that you're trying to make your opponent feel so fucking shit that they can't do anything, right, when it works. I mean, clearly his deck is better, we get it, but I would have still had a chance. I would have still had a chance to win, just if you get Lorthamar, and there's nothing I can do, because, you know, maybe I could put that card in there that gives you like your highest and lowest cost card. Which I was using, I guess, that with the Paladin deck to try to get Uther, because, you know, you would get the 4 Horsemen thing every time. Like, it doesn't even matter, because it's one of those means arguments. Like, he's using a better deck, so he won because of that. It's not that, oh, he's better, or he played better, or I misplayed, or whatever. Like, it's pretty straightforward, so I never worry about that, but it is a little frustrating. Like, let's try to give Lorthamar some screen time. I'm just going to keep saying that a million times. But I guess last episode I really realized how big of a deal that is, right? Because like I was playing a deck that was really good, and I thought, oh, there's no way I'm going to beat this, and then somehow it came together because it's just so overwhelming. Even good decks are like, oh shit, I can't deal with the 14/14 elusive, followed by another, you know, whatever, like all these high values, even like an 8, 4, 10, right, elusive. That's really good. There's a lot of really good things, so you have to get it, and you have to basically get it on curve. So if I can play it comfortably on turn 7, then it helps me catch up, because now my board is going to become very overwhelming. Yeah, this is just something that's very, very intrinsic to me. Like, I always talk about Jinzo Spell Canceller in Yu-Gi-Oh!, where you're trying to stop them from playing spell and trap cards. You know, Magic Jammer, all these kind of other things. This is very intrinsic to that style, that again, you're trying to prevent them from just doing anything, which might make you think that I would like blue more in Magic, but I somehow don't like how it manifests there. Well, I do like hexproof for blue, but somehow all the playing of spells, I don't like removal, right? Oh, I want to prevent them from summoning minions, so I'll spam removal every turn. I don't like that. I like the stuff that prevents them from using removal on me, or, you know, like guaranteeing that I have a board and stuff like that. It's sort of very specific, right? So in this game, it's very simple. Like, there aren't even trap cards or anything, so I just want to stop them from playing spells effectively, which unfortunately there's a lot of easy ways to get around it. But what the fuck? Why the fuck would you do that, even if you are a bot?
Why, thank you.
Okay, dude, okay. Like, that's the dumbest, stupidest fucking thing you could do, because the only thing I have going is the board, and I'm even pissed about that, because, well, I guess he'll have a chance to do it now anyway, but like, I wonder, I probably was the first person to ever play as this, because it was even before Galakron was there, so, like, nobody would have ever tried to do it, because there wasn't even a theme to really do. Right, so I could actually take credit for it that way, but again, I'm not even saying it's good, I just love it. It's like, if you're able to, what the fuck? You know, if you're able to extrapolate and have all these other cards that would be clearly in a position to, complement it. So you would have Fairy Dragon, you would have Trog, you would have Trogzor, you would have Sogoth, all these other things, but you wouldn't have any of this, the Chimeras, the Draconid, etc., because again, That is insane. Like, Galakrond gave you more elusive minions than every other expansion in the history of the game combined before and after, right? I think that would be an accurate statement to make because there's so few of them. So the majority of them came from that. You started off early on with Spectral Knight, Fairy Dragon, the 2/5 taunt, which I forget even what it's called. Right, those were pretty much the only ones you had. And then you get Sogoth, and then you get a couple good class ones like Druids, Tyrantus, and stuff. But, you know, should I keep pressing the board, or should I don't know. I maybe could have just like pinged it and killed it with something and done something else. Like now I'd still be pretty vulnerable to AoE, which is pretty frustrating how easy that is for them to do. Like the first game I played even, I thought that's what happened, right? Oh, they couldn't possibly deal. When did I say that? Was that with this deck, or like, oh, they can't possibly deal with this board, and then we get Twisting Nethered, and then, oh, they can't possibly do something else, and then, you know, the next game they use like Asphyxiate because I have like one big target out there. So like, you're finding all these easy ways to bypass the elusive mechanic. And now it's finally where, oh, they'd get to the point where they can whatever, like they have some sliver of hope, and now you have Lorthamar. But this guy kind of played like a clown when you had a chance to kill off my minions at the beginning of the game with your stupid weapon. Right, it's the relentless nature of it, right? The hard commit. You have every fucking elusive minion in the game, right, that you can possibly have within reason, but like that's literally either you can deal with it or you can't. But the problem is too many decks end up beating you on the board because the values aren't exactly that good. A 5-mana 4/6 in 2024 is fucking dog shit. Even though I always say this card kind of has aged well. Like, it's not as bad as you think, right? A 5-mana 4/6 with elusive, you know, isn't like a card that you would think is from super old Hearthstone. It's actually decent. Yeah, now we could almost try to cut our losses with some of these, but there's nothing even big to summon, you know? He's just really struggling to do anything, so he should keep the board pressure on. Like, this would be good because now he's so under pressure, right? It'd be tough for him to even fake it out with only 7 mana. What kind of big AoE did Demon Hunters even have? I don't even know. And so you have the ability to have one life-saving play, and you're going to get cucked on that too. And Spellbender is pointless to even do because, you know, you're not going to have anything you could target anyway unless you can silence it. This is like the anti-meta thing where it's not that my deck is even good or that I'm even going against good decks per se, but it's like you'd be in a position to or I did that kind of the wrong way and he healed too much, whatever. It's like they wouldn't expect it. So even a good deck might struggle with something like this because it's so unconventional and weird. Nobody is playing to counter things like this, so you would never know. So now your next spell is going to cost 2 more and it's going to get countered. So this is where you beat it like a dead horse. Not only will Spellbender absorb a card, right, but it'll also buff the Trog, or it'll also summon a Trog. This will also, even though that was sort of a bait play, it costed 2 more. Wait, but it only costed 1 though. How? Wait, what? It costs 1, but it costs still more because of that. Those two shouldn't be separate. I probably should have played one of these before. Oh, of course, I'm getting cucked by my own mechanic here. I could still end up losing this game, and the reason why is because, you know, it's dragging out like way too long and all this stupid ass healing. But no, that could almost be a fun mechanic that it's like something is elusive until it gets hit. Right, like until it's hit once, then it becomes normal. So you couldn't ping it or something. You'd have to attack into it, and then it loses the elusive effect. So we want that Shimmering Corsair thing too. Whatever, Shimmering Corsair, the fucking Corsair would be like a fucking pirate. The little unicorn or whatever is another one. There's not really too many other things I would want, but it's kind of sad that between the Druid deck and this deck, surely between playing the Druid deck for 2 months, I'd be able to get enough dust, etc. to craft Sogoth or something, and Trogzor. And surely between playing even another 2 months with this as mage, I'd be able to do it, but apparently not. Right, because it's like the same whole collection and setup. Nice game, dude. Nice game. Like, where the fuck is Lorthamar? I'm half willing to do that. I'm willing to do it. I'll put in 2 of those fuckers who give me my highest cost card, even though it's not thematic to the deck at all. It's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do, man? If you don't get him, you have 0 chance. That's pretty much how it works. Even against a shitty deck, shitty player like this. We'll just stack up the secrets here, which again are not very good value and not anything other than just an ancillary way to support this. But with a board like what I have now in this stage in the game, you're kind of screwed because your cards can't burn out like this either, where you have, you know, you have the ability to, what can I do? I can't draw, I can't do anything. There's nothing in here like that. So, or that could be fun too, like you try to flip Lorthamar or get like Bran and Lorthamar together and like, oh, it triggers twice, so now you have a 28-28 fucking Draconid. It is the sort of thing, like, no matter how good your deck is, if you get to that point, you're fucked. Because yeah, I might actually change this because I'm not too happy with the way this is going. Even though it's not true to what I wanted to do, it's just getting to the point where this is just extremely dumb. Yeah, I don't have spells, by the way, also. Fucking, I got 3 secrets right here, but I guess it's a little harder to justify, duplicate, and splitting image, but when you see it in practice, it makes sense because you have that Draconid out there and he's finally about to attack it and finally about to kill it, and then you still fuck him over that way too. He probably thinks it's not something related to spells though, like just he's afraid it'll be something when he attacks in, which it kind of is still. It's actually still not that bad of a spot though, because of the simple fact that you have the ability to, his hand is sort of dried out too. That's not even that good of a play, but it's something, right? Because otherwise I'm totally dried out of cards. That's unfortunate. I mean, anything they try to play spell-wise is gonna get fucked over. Yes, of course. That's really what we want here. It was really the lifesteal that saved this dumbass too, because he just had way too much of that. And we suffer from the Stone Drake thing ourselves. So his deck didn't seem that good. Him as a player didn't seem that good. But what can I do? Yeah, that's cute, I guess, but it's not really that big of a deal. And again, there is no target even for the Spellbender. It still doesn't seem like that bad of a spot, but you'd have to get something actually good, which I'm just never doing. That makes me frustrated. I'll make another version of this deck with this stupid Paradise guy. So the last 2 gimmick decks in a row have been saved by that. Like how we got Uther. You would get Uther guaranteed every time you would play that guy, or it was like from the Death Rattle, but still, you would often get Uther from that. So you only had to worry about getting the other guy. And it'd be so perfect if your lowest cost card was that guy too. The, what's his name again? The 3-cost auctioneer guy, goblin guy. But the point is that it doesn't matter because, you know, whatever. It would just make it easier for you to get that. But you needed like some 2-cost cards in there, obviously. So it didn't entirely work that way, but I guess it could happen later in the game. If you've drawn every 2-cost card you have, then you might be guaranteed to get both. That could almost be a deck concept where you deliberately have that. Have the Beardo as your lowest cost card, deliberately have Uther as your highest cost card, so you're guaranteed to get them. Now all you have to do is fill in the holes of the coins and stuff, but most of the stuff that gives you coins are lower than a 3-cost card, so that is unfortunate. And this is the kind of time where I would even say there's not really much you can do, but I even underestimated it myself. It's not the kind of deck that can come back from deficits like this, but somehow that is the perfect clutch play to make. I do like that card. It doesn't even seem like really that great value though by today's standards. 8 mana for 2 5/6s with taunt and elusive, and I'm questioning, oh no, that's not good enough, not enough power creep. Like, this is so fucking stupid, man. It's totally ice block, by the way. Like, what could I possibly get? Only defensive stuff you have, again, is taunts. You have to keep getting taunts over and over. But look at how much you're at least forcing them to play on the board, because you are able to have no other answer for this shit. especially as a demon hunter. You're not going to have a ton of AoEs, but their best answer for an AoE is just I mean, I don't have a choice. He's going to do it anyway. The best AoE you would have is just summoning like 1/1 fucking things like that, right? That's the equivalent that you're going to get. But I mean, Lord Thamar is just missing in fucking action, dude. Maybe I'll give it like one more shot, but then I'll try to, or I'll make another deck anyway, though. Maybe I'll try between the two now. Because what I want to see is where you get that every time. And if you fuck off, dude. Left or right most cards. So many choices here. Like, you'll get it no matter what. But he thinks it's Ice Block or what? Or I could have potentially cast a spell, and then I could have potentially casted a spell, and then I would have been able to, you know, heal from that based on the random effect of that alone. That would even be fitting in like the Yogg deck. There's like all these things that do random spells.
You are skillful indeed.
Very anticlimactic when you think it's Ice Block or something. So yeah, let me see. It'll be the same deck, but it'll be a few things that are different. One of them is going to be the guy who summons, gives you your highest cost card, which isn't even going to be. Oh, it doesn't even work because it would either, it could give you a Draconid or it could give you, you know what? Let's say she go with that idea. What was the other thing though that I wanted? So I'll get rid of the Draconids and just do without them, I guess. What else was I saying would fit in here? I can't even remember now. You'd have to get rid of that. You'd have to get rid of these, and so you would guarantee whatever that clown guy's name is. It's like your highest cost card. Or I must already have him, or what? Wait, where the fuck is he? Or did they change how he worked? Because he was probably so busted. But it's from the Paradise thing. It is also... it's like a 3 cost card or a 4 cost card? I can't remember. Not gonna have enough to make even this clown. They probably just removed it from the game. The one thing that can actually benefit me in a gimmick context. Or was it... oh, you know what? Was it actually a paladin card? That'd be fucking uncanny. I think it was, actually. You wouldn't think of it like that, but... what the fuck? That's very convenient for the fact that I had done it with that. Or, it, you know, it fits so well with that. So it won't even work with this then. Never mind. There's something else I said. What else did I want in here? The Trogzor would be the biggest next thing that I want. The Shimmering Courser is not really that big of a deal. Yeah, that would have been good at least. So I guess the tail and Fordring guy, right, would be draw your highest. I guess that kind of is the same thing, right? So it would try to but it's so slow too. Where by the time you do it, it'll be fucking turn 7 anyway. You have to play it, then you have to... if I could just remember what else I wanted in here, that would be great. But now I can't. Let's see. What else would complement this? Like maybe... oh yeah, like Bran. And maybe like even... what the fuck? I thought that was one of those you just start with. What the fuck? So you got Bran and you got like pandas type shit. So it's like battle cries, trigger twice. Your battle cry, that's the only card in the whole game that says battle cries. Or like your next battle cry, even that would work because I don't have anything else really. So you have come on, there's got to be one like that, right? Your next battle cry triggers twice. Or even just fucking what the fuck, dude? The panda. Just give me the pandas. Brewmaster, so you could do that with Lord Thamar multiple times. I'm happy with that. We haven't had much of an occasion to play that Hearthstone brew, who seems like a very fun thing in itself. Let's give it a shot. So the only difference is you're a little lower curve. You don't have the 7s and 8s, and you also have Lord Thamar precedent to play it multiple times with the pandas, and you also have, and even with duplicate and stuff, that could be good. But also the fact that you have a stupid tail and Fordring, which might be the best thing that you can do as far as the highest cost card. because it doesn't make sense. Like that stupid ass thing is a paladin card only. It'd have to be obviously a mage card. When your turn starts, summon a copy of your highest cost minion. That's actually pretty fitting for this too, come to think of it, because you know, if you have an elusive thing already out there that's similar to the splitting image thing, reduce the cost of highest cost spell in your hand, highest cost spell in your hand, solve the cost of highest lowest cost spell in your hand, casting highest cost spell. Okay, I don't care about spells. Reorder your deck from the high, or even this would kind of work. Reorder your deck from highest cost to lowest, not only for the sake of getting Lorthamar, but even just, you know, now you're gonna go with the big guns and do it at that point. Draw your highest cost spell. So I'll put in like the lore keeper thing. I mean, if only I had infinite dust. I don't know how I'm supposed to fucking keep up with this shit. Let's do summoning ward, and we'll get rid of one other thing. Maybe we don't need 2 pandas. I have a hard time believing that'll actually be relevant. So we at least have the potential to play Lorthamar more than once based on that, and based on duplicate. We have the ability to do that, which is kind of satisfying for, you know, copying an elusive minion similar to splitting image. And then we also put in one other thing to try to get Lorthamar a little bit earlier or more reliably. It's not really that different, but that maybe could help, because again, I didn't realize it would be that big of a deal. So even as much as I like this deck, it's like the whole survival of it depends on, so I'll kind of rotate back between these two for now, this episode and next episode, and then we'll try to build the Yogg one, but I'm not going to have enough shit for it. I can barely even build this one. Imagine having this without Sogoth or fucking Trog, which arguably aren't even that good by today's standards, but I think the Trog would actually surprise you, because you're going to play it on a board where you already have like a 7/7 or other kind of crazy elusive taunts and stuff. So now it's going to be so frustrating for them to get to it, and you're going to have the secrets out there and everything, right? So it's going to be fucking nuts in that basis alone. It's just more so annoying to deal with than it is actually good. So it's one of those things, like you'll win 1 out of 5 games or 2 out of 5 games, but when you do, it'll be very satisfying. So it's not about how good it is. It's about the fact that when you win your way, or the way that I want to, in a way that's very satisfying, in a way that is very thematic. So I could save the Brewmaster too, because I mean, imagine doing that. Right now I get double elusive, and it's very slow, of course, but it's the kind of thing, like, you wish he wasn't a 7/7. Like, I wish he's like a 4 mana 0/0, but with the same effect. And he just dies when you summon him, but he does the effect.
The light dims, but we fight. Need a bit more spice over here.
Alright, this is a little bit too much board control in the beginning of the game, where this is what fucks me over. I have no choice but to play that because that's too squishy. And so now you have the problem of, I'm just going to lose on the board and not get to the chance of being able to play anything, right? So these kind of matchups can be tough.
Reporting for duty.
It's just too much. I can't deal with all this.
Reporting for duty.
How extraordinary.
You know, because even though these are well statted and they might have to trade in, they could just ignore it and go face, and that might be adequate for them. But they would have to know kind of what I'm doing, which maybe they're getting the vibe of it already. This has been a good card as an addition, because this was something I never used before. And it's, you know, because you always wouldn't have a 3-cost elusive minion. The only one I think there is in the game is that stupid bear shark as a hunter. Like, I wish I could combine all of them from every class, but... So we're just getting farmed out. This is just how easy it is to beat this. Like, I can't do anything because, you know, you're relying on board presence, but they're just taking too much of it themselves. And this is everybody's character, like in Legion, right? Where you're a dinky 1/1, but you still have Ashbringer, right? Like a cosmetic Ashbringer. Everybody becomes a god, right? And it diminishes, like, oh, this legendary artifact item that only a few people on the server have, or whatever. And it's a big deal, or only one person in lore has. Now everybody fucking gets a handout free Ashbringer. Like, it defeats the whole meaning of what that's supposed to be about. It's like that one expression somebody said on a Reddit post or something that was so good, where, you know, in classic WoW, you used to feel like a nobody doing heroic things. Now you feel like a hero doing nothing, which perfectly describes like sort of the bloat or the power creep or the whatever aspect that ends up happening with games, where it becomes too, you know, it starts to feel like it revolves around you too much. And speaking of games that revolve around you, that's exactly what Adventure Quest feels like. a game that I just did in my throwback format the other day, Thursday. You know, it's a good game, but it's like, it feels like everything is just there sitting and waiting for you, and like, you know, kind of everything is just, you're the hero, you're the grand adventurer, you're just, you know, everybody's waiting for your help, and it's just too tailor-made for that. So it's a little immersion breaking from that perspective, that, you know, the world is your oyster, but it's like it's waiting for you to just come and eat it or whatever. Like, just, it's a bit heavy-handed with that, right? Whereas WoW, for example, or MMOs in general, typically don't feel like that, especially in their original state. Like, the world goes on whether you're there or not. You could play it all day every day and you'll never do everything there is to do. And it takes on like a real world economy system with like an auction house and stuff, and it takes on the form. Bro, is Lorthamar good, dude? Is he good this day or what, man? What the fuck is going on? I can't do anything if I don't get him. Like, that's literally the only way to play this game. Even in this matchup, I might still lose because he's putting way too much pressure on the board. But yeah, adventure quests, like being so player-centric. But no, that's what you would feel like in WoW. You know, you could play all day and you're still not making a dent in the amount of progress there is to do. But then you could also not play at all for a while and the world still goes on and things are changing and everything. I mean, that's true of MMOs in general, but just, it felt very satisfying in that regard, right? There was some analogy I made with it in the past, like, it makes it feel like real life, where, you know, not only does it not revolve around you, but it kind of keeps going even if you're not there. So whenever you come back, you feel like you're never going to run out of stuff to do, but you're also, I don't know, everything you're doing is just a small drop in the bucket, basically. So that's what people want, and how people get immersed in something truly at the highest level potentially is like, you could play it all day every day of your life, but you still won't do everything there is to do, right? So it makes it feel like actually kind of like real life, where you could, you know, do whatever you want all the time. You're never going to do everything in the world, right? So it does take on that larger than life aspect. So we'll keep rotating back between these. There's not really much of a difference, just I wish I could have used that resort guy, but I guess he is just a paladin card. It seems like the kind of thing that wouldn't be. It's just such a broad general effect, right? Draw your highest cost card, draw your lowest cost card between the battle cry and the death rattle. So but yeah, this is a deck I never cease to enjoy, even if I'm getting a little frustrated. But it's just, okay, this kind of matchup probably favors me more because they're going to have a lot of high cost removal, even though there is still a lot of AoE stuff. It's almost like I should mulligan for Lorthamar only, but I kind of am still. It's just like, you got to have some low cost stuff. There we fucking go. You know, this should be a 100% win rate game, which of course it's still not, but you have an excellent chance, especially against...
Here to study your end. Wow.
I don't think I've even used that emote so far. I don't really like this guy's voice, I keep saying, but he looks badass until he opens his fucking mouth. You know, this is great because whatever he summons, I could counter it, even though it's too early to worry about that. But yeah, you should easily be able to get a slow-paced game here against a priest. So he's, you know, operating under his own demise, because what you're going to do is you're going to let me get there too comfortably, and then it'll be over. Right, I'd love to see, like, even if he does win, how are you going to deal with all these big minions that I get out there that are also elusive, that are also, you know, going to have other effects? Like, it's going to be very, very difficult. So, again, it's one of those things that when it does work, it's just beautiful. Although now you can just do, like, a simple Holy Nova, so I'm kind of overcommitting, but it's okay. Like, you should sort of stop committing at some point. I don't know what else they have at this point that could really fuck you over, though. He's a friendly minion, summon a copy with 1 health remaining. Okay. Not really a big deal. I mean, some of these decks I'm going against are going to be pretty bad too, but it's more like a style dictates the outcome, right? It's not about whether it's good or not. It's about, like, what we just saw previously was a little bit too much. That's still worth it, I guess. So now we can do Lorthamar literally turn 6. And now we should have no chance of, again, even if his deck is really good, right? It's a legend caliber deck somehow. We're playing a bronze rank 3. and then we'll still win, or we'll still have a chance at least. This is the one that doesn't have the potential to flip him back, although it does have the potential to duplicate him. Do I get greedy and try to do that? Fuck it, I want to do it. So we'll wait another turn. We'll do this and we'll do like something else. And obviously he doesn't have the coin, so it's going to be... we'll counterspell. So now it's like, now we'll do Lorthamar, and then presumably Lorthamar might die first. Maybe not, but then if he dies first, then you fucking get him twice more. And then we'll really see what my deck looks like.
Someone injured?
Some of these values are going to be jacked out. I think I've done that before too. Or like I was able to play him even more than that because I had like the 2 Brewmasters, and then I played the 4-cost Brewmaster, and then I did something else too. And I did like Bran, so... I mean, it's very easy to play around Counterspell, unfortunately. Right, for anybody, really. But you got to do it on one of those turns where they don't have the mana to do that. Like, they'll have to play Flame Strike and it's turn 7 and they only have 7 mana, or you're playing the Nerubian Unraveler 2 and Loatheb and then they do it and then they get cucked on top of that. So they're playing like what would normally be a 4-cost spell for 9 because of Loatheb, and then it still gets countered, and they didn't have the ability to fake it out because they didn't have enough mana, or so, you know, those kind of scenarios are what you're doing it for, not like this where they can just do a 0 fucking cost whatever they want. Bro is trying to deck himself out, but he's not really doing anything. So now if you kill this off, that would be very good, right? I mean, even if you don't, I still got what I wanted, but now I'm getting greedy for Lorthamar too. Even if he has some amazing answers, this would be such a fun game to see play out. The problem is I might win too easily. That's the disappointment. Like, when you win, it'll be too easy. When you lose, it'll be too easy for them. So you don't get like a good in-between epic matchup. Oh, well, actually, he's buffing my own. This is the kind of shit it leads to, too. Because since you can't... Well, I guess that's just more because he didn't have anything out there. But that's the only thing you could target. You just had to make him stronger in the process. So now you get a 10-10. I almost want him to be able to deal with it. Like, I might BM him a little bit just to try to show off, right? I just want to flex my fucking epic values now, but you won't give me the chance. So that makes your life a little bit harder, too, with the spells. And again, you might think, oh, it affects me, too, but fuck you. But I don't really, you know, get a chance to even do them, or I don't have enough spells where I would care about it. If I have to play a 5-cost secret, so be it. But in fact, I even played into that with Alana in the previous version of the deck, right? One of the older iterations, I would have Alana, so I would specifically say, I'm waiting till I play the Nerubian Unraveler, then I play the secret, and then I can play Alana and get the benefit of an extra dragon from doing that. That would be another card that I would want in here too. So basically my collection is just shit, and I don't have enough dust because I keep disenchanting, re-enchanting everything a million times. It fucks me over. We're gonna bully Priest all day because they're always susceptible to stuff like this, but you would obviously need Lorthamar in this context here. But yeah, I had a chance to get like fucking 3 of him there, but they denied me that. And again, they would have denied me even the satisfaction of being able to play it out. It's just so simple. Like, it maybe seems like, oh, it's a brain dead kind of curve play deck, but it is just still very fun. Or I should look through and really try to figure out a way to improve it, but like, if I was to try to be really serious and meta, right, what would I do? And I should have pinged it, I guess. And what could I add that would really do that? But it would have to be something that doesn't take away the essence of it. Like, sure, you could make a Legend Caliber deck that happens to have a few elusive minions in there, but that's not the point. I would want it to really be built around that. Like, you still have to have a lot of them, and it has to be very good, like, very intrinsic to what we're trying to do. The quality is clearly not the priority, even as I'm saying it. Choose a travel tour to get 2 potentially perfect cards from it. 2 potentially perfect. You could do this. You could do the... Okay, dude. Yeah, we started with priest and we're gonna end with rogue, like my 2 least played classes ever, right in this whole gimmick rotation. But that was more like the underplayed class round robin that I had said at the beginning, and then I segued from that. So I did priest and I was intending to do rogue, but then I forgot, and then I skipped ahead and did my gimmick decks. So then I did like warlock, warrior, hunter, druid, shaman, kind of in that order. Shaman, paladin. So like we did priest, warrior, or was it warlock first? Whatever. Priest, warrior, warlock, probably hunter, druid, shaman. Now we're doing mage. Then we'll do rogue. There must be something I forgot in there. And we did like a little whiz bang sub series too in the process. Who am I forgetting? Priest, warrior, warlock, hunter, druid, shaman, paladin, mage, rogue, and then obviously demon hunter and death knight will be the bonus little carrot on top or whatever. But it'll be the simple fact that you have maybe I'll do those as meta decks or something, because I can't say, oh, I'm making a gimmick deck, because I barely played as them in the first place. I played Death Knight a little bit, a decent amount when it came out, and I never really played Death Knight, Demon Hunter much at all. We do get Lorthamar, so at least I'm happy about that. They've done pretty well on the board though so far. You can just trade in. This is the kind of shit design though that we're coming up with. It's just like a name gimmick pun that inspires card design. Bro, even that's not gonna fucking save you though. Is it really gonna be perfect for dealing with elusive buffed up shit? Because that's what you're gonna have to deal with. But if they just muck up the board, I can't do anything. As they kind of proceed to do that, but that's not even that good. But yeah, now whatever we get is going to be god level, so I still... Yeah, this is what we need. Just give me more priest and warrior type matchups where they're just super slow. So they'll at least give me the chance to do that. Right, because again, even you, with all your spells and crazy shit, are not going to be able to do much, and your board is a bit comical. So in 3 random 2-cost minions, upgrades each turn. Why not just wait then? Or you probably have more of them still. Bro's using a cheese gimmick deck with fucking Gorgon, Zamu, or whatever the fuck. And this thing. Alright, so we got... Well, that's unfortunate that I didn't get anything from that, though. So now we're in a bit of trouble, because despite my values, I need like some big taunt or something, and they're just not giving me what I need. So at least when you attack in, I can get another copy, and... You could just use a base removal on Lorthamar, though. It's not like, you know, he's one of the few non-elusive minions we have, in addition to Lotheb, in addition to potentially the Trog and Trog Zorb, in addition to the Nerubian Unraveler. So I'm still going to lose to this shitty board. you would need like a taunt. The Stone Drake, the little 2/5, the... You know, 7/7, assuming they can't deal with that. I would almost prefer the Stone Drake now just for the healing, because they may very well have a hard time dealing with it. Deal 2 damage to a random enemy. So you're going to leave him around, though, and let me... Okay, dude, okay. Or I should have maybe not done that, but... It's such a shitty board. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I dealt with it pretty well, but I'm still pretty fucking low. So you got 4 damage. God damn it. Why can't I just get a taunt? That's the only defensive capability I have. Of course, it's totally ice block, so don't even try to finish me off, which priests tend to have trouble dealing with that anyway. So now at least here's an example where I can get Lorthamar and still lose, but I really can't if I actually get any fucking thing in here. Oh, thank God. Now, whether they can deal with this or not, I don't know. And in fact, I can't do anything either, but maybe we'll just get... No, I'll just let him be, but what could you do to the 416? Like, let's see how a priest deals with it, or how anybody would deal with it. And if you can't, then I'm going to heal like fucking crazy. And that will be very fun, because you get to... Or he's not going to attack in, though, but at least it buys me time then. This seems like a gimmick deck itself too, because you're getting like a lot of, but it's probably just a modern meta deck. Like, oh, you're getting all these perfect cards and this stuff. Sooth Fancy. And sometimes you don't even know whether these are characters that are made up just for this game, which I kind of dislike, or any of the random lore. What the fuck? What the fuck? Is that like a likely play, or is that just some bullshit lucky play? Because of all the things that a priest is gonna get. What the fuck, bro? Well, at least I can accept my defeat honorably when I get Lorthamar, but I'm still not happy about it. Right, that is at least a good showing for it. You just really needed a taunt like that a little bit sooner. Oh, here we go. We're just farming priest all day. Or is it the same guy?
Shall bring victory. Behold the magic of death.
Okay, you have a 2 and a 3, so I feel bad for getting rid of them. And in fact, I won't. Just to try to... There we go, dude. It could almost be one of those things where I just concede every game if I don't get him like super early. But that feels kind of salty and stupid too. It's the kind of busted mechanic that I, even though I like it and it benefits it, I also dislike the design behind it. It's just so broken. Like, there's nothing else like it before in the game. And to do the same thing, you would have had to like work so hard, right? And it's good in like every deck, just like double everything. Fuck it. Like, again, with the druid, like, oh, I would have to do AoE buffs and I would have to do, you know, pay 100 mana to try to get the same effect, and it's only for the stuff on the board. Or you pay like 10 mana for the, you have everything in your hand, battlefield, and deck, +4/+4. This is going to give an average of more than that because you are doubling it, so it's going to be like, for higher cost minions, it's going to be much better. Right, most of them are like, you know, the 5, 4, and up for the... So I will do it again just as a curve play, and we do have Lorthamar, so just play normally. I want to see this against like a really top tier meta type of deck. There was this one guy who kept, I don't think it was him, one guy who kept playing against me as like a viewer game, but I haven't had too many people really doing that. Because like this community is kind of weird, maybe like that. They'll act like they're all hardcore try hard, but it doesn't really matter. Like, this is a kind of perfect game for gimmick decks and stuff like this, but then people don't do it. Or I love that they're looking around, but they're still roping. Like, what are you doing? It makes it seem like you're AFK, but you're not. This turn, healing does damage instead. Okay. Pretty good interaction there, but that would be probably more useful later. Right. What the fuck? Well, that hurt you too, so what's the point? Fuck, see, that's the kind of dead turn you can't afford, though. When you do have a better curve than ever with this, too, because you finally have a 3 cost and everything. We get a 5, a 6, and a 7. Pretty simple. And then we have to figure a way. The only way it could be better is if it did it to your hand and board, too. But obviously, we'll get that in a couple more expansions with more power creep. I don't really know much about Lorthamar, actually, in the actual lore. He has lore even in his fucking name, but you know, I played during BC and Wrath, but I don't remember really. I feel like there was some like hopeful nature he had. Like, he was like, at the beginning, he's like, I can't wait till Kael'thas returns. He's still a good guy. Like, that's what they all think. And then they realize he's bad during the events of Tempest Keep and everything. But right, they're still being hopeful and actually looking up to him and stuff. I feel like at the beginning. Even the opening cinematic says that, yeah, as they wait for their beloved prince to return. But then, you know, he does return, but then he fucks them over with the Sunwell and everything, right? We just play simply on curve, the old name dropper. For the Lich King, for Kel'Thuzad, he says in both contexts. Yeah, I fell in love with this mechanic before it even really was a mechanic, in the sense that you really had to scrape the bottom of the barrel for it. It didn't have a keyword. It didn't have very many cards in the game, right? We're talking about when you only had like this and Fairy Dragon and the fucking mech even, and it was very, very limited in scope. Right, so that's the true sign of something you love, where you go out of your way. Find somebody who loves you the way I love the elusive mechanic, right? Because I made a deck gimmick based on it and played with these sort of things a lot and tried to brainstorm ideas with the Nerubian Unraveler and other shit just to try to make it into a concept before it even could have been one. Because again, it didn't have a keyword, it didn't have very many minions, it didn't have any of these newer ones from Galakron and beyond, it didn't even have like any real structure behind it. It arguably still doesn't really have a structure. Like, nobody's really going to be doing this, but since Lorthamar can make anything good, right, you're kind of squeezing it a little bit that way. Okay, at least this is not wow. I'm actually just gonna fucking die though before any of this shit happens. That's at least a little different, the commitment he has to that, because yeah, your healing effects are going to be way more than what you conventionally expect to pay for, you know. Over a card that costs the amount over heal. Yeah, how does that work with, like, it'd have to be overkill instead of over heal. I'm still using that stupid Diablo card back. I don't know why even. I would have bought like the Fairy Dragon card back, which implies the whole still elusive vibe, but I don't want to waste gold on that. I'm going to have to use gold just to buy packs to just disenchant stuff, because I should prepare for the Yogg thing. I shouldn't even worry about... You know, I have to respect this guy's commitment to this mechanic. This seems almost like a gimmick deck itself that he's using. You just have so many things that are going to do that. Having the excess, but I definitely need to heal from this, right? Because I don't know how much more of that shit he's going to have. If you count 3 spells while holding this, draw 3 cards. One of those kind of mechanics that rewards you for basically doing nothing. The Handmaiden's Tale, right? That they always mistakenly bring up to say, to try to prove some stupid point on abortion or something, and it's not even valid. Unfortunately, we need like the other Stone Drake now that's going to be buffed up or something, because... Or if you do kill Lorthamar, I'll totally play into it more. So now this becomes kind of useless, but... The next time you cast a spell... So he's just going to kill me with like some Mind Blast type shit, but... Why do so many people use this card, right? This almost seems like a bot one too, like the way they do it with the gears that everybody speculates. I've never like really gotten any full confirmation on that or looked it up. Like, I don't really care, but it does feel like you're playing a disproportionate number of bots nonetheless. Oh shit, you ask and you receive. So what we want to do is we want to play into sort of baiting him to try to kill Lorthamar, right, so that we can get it again. But now this will save me despite all his shenanigans, assuming he can't kill me right now, right? We're getting the perfect life steals on command. Yeah, let's just farm priest all fucking day. I don't know why we're seeing so many of them. Well, we're going to find out that the deck we're going against is actually really good and really meta, but now we're clowning it because we're playing some unconventional thing, right? Imagine not losing to another meta deck, but just to some shit that subverts the meta by... Okay, I'm probably still dead, though. Or maybe not, maybe not. You got more? Okay. That's always a unique take on it. That's not exactly what the other ones were doing. But no, we got everything we could have asked for. We got Lorthamar, we got the lifesteal right when we needed it. Okay, let's do a couple more. Let's try to get to silver. Wait, was that the one I was just using? Let's keep switching back and forth. Try to get to silver rank 10, because that's a real accomplishment. And then... Yeah, well, next time we'll try to build into the Yogg one a little bit, but I'm worried I'm not going to have enough dust. But yeah, this is one of those evergreen decks that never really gets old. Despite whatever iterations I have to do to it, it still maintains the core concept. That looks fucking sick, actually. I don't know that I've ever seen that one before. Maybe it's a newer one. It's one that you really couldn't appreciate, though, unless you like look up close, though. Maybe like... when you're looking in the menus and stuff, you might not appreciate it if it's on the reward track or something.
I see you brought guests.
All right, so warrior is kind of what we asked for too, along with the priest, because they might be a slower pace, but it could be an aggro warrior too, right? You never know. Just don't take board control for like the first 4 or 5 turns, and I have to hope that I get Lorthamar too in my hand, but other than that, you would have a pretty good shot of at least getting it off. Because again, what I'm more interested in seeing is not so much that I win, but just that I get to actually play the way I'm intending to. And then, like, the last game was fine because I did what I wanted to do, and he still beat me. So good for him. Like, he managed to, you know, just play a very unique style and play almost a gimmick himself with the whole healing damage becoming healing becoming damage, basically. Shadow Priest. So this is fucking stupid. I'm just not getting anything I can play. And I might have to use Tail and Fordring. Or no, that's not even in this deck, but I haven't gotten that effect, but that might be those few games that that you're able to have to get Lorthamar that way because you can't find him anywhere else. So that's okay if he attacks in, you get Splitting Image, which is pretty valuable at this stage, although it's so expensive that you wouldn't really... None of these secrets are very efficient. None of these minions are really all that efficient either. Bro thinks he's me with that shit, but I mean... It's, you know, it was a small compliment to what I did anyway with the Iron Juggernaut, where I had like all the bombs collectively together in there. This thing, the 5/5, I really love that one too. Speaking of evergreen decks, I should actually save Lorthamar, I guess. Or no, I Lotheb, because man, so many of these fucking bots in my... I got bots in my game and bots in my chat with this whole cheap viewer thing that they always say, and then I like classy viewers myself, not cheap ones. And then you also get the ability to do whatever, like you're seeing so many bots in Hearthstone itself. Maybe they're the same bots. They're gonna try to sell you, they'll try to message you in here, like sell you fucking buy free account, whatever, however people sell shit in this game. Buy some account with a cosmetic that you could never get otherwise now. Like, I would have almost tried to do that with N'Zoth, but thankfully they brought it back. That was one that I really wanted very badly, and I got to show it off when I was doing the Renounced Darkness and stuff most recently. So you have... I guess you may as well do this, but yeah, you can easily brawl or do something here, but you still are not able to do what I really want. No, the taunts become very important too, because again, you got to look at it as your only defensive capability that you'll have. If you're dying, I can't really heal. You just have to keep playing on the board. Everything you're doing is, you know, address everything on the board. Whether I win or lose, it's going to come down to whether we have board control, whether we, you know, if I want removal, I have to do it from the board, even if it's through poisonous, even if it's through some other effect. It's still okay though, right? If I want to, you know, cuck their spells, I have to do it on the board. If I want to save myself defensively, I want to do it on the board. So everything is just about the board. We could do those two, kill this. Draw a weapon, okay. We put in successfully a certain amount of pressure. Oh, fuck everything. But now is where we can kind of counter whatever late game shenanigans they may have. I like a guy who uses a basic card back, but a sexy skin, like, you know, their sexy avatar. Makes it seem like, oh, you're a new player, but then how could you have that? Sometimes maybe some of the people I think are bots are actually just new accounts, but you know, it just still isn't super satisfying to play against them. They're just gonna get like 4 fucking bomb draws in a row and kill me. Which again, I can't really do a whole lot about that. That's unfortunate because that's not really the kind of buffed up one that you really want. No, I want to see the duplicate thing play out too, where even if I got it, I didn't get to play them all. But that is extremely slow. Like, Lord, imagine that. A 7-mana 7/7 is a slow play, and it's also buffing everything in your deck. But oh no, that's still too slow for this day and age. Yeah, that's really the way they'd rationalize it. Oh, that effect is okay because the 7-mana 7/7 is kind of bad value by, you know, the standard of when it came out even, right? Or I did that probably the wrong way, but I'm holding out hope for the duplicate play. But he can just kill it right now. But yeah, like, because that value is no longer considered good, it is
Not for my fortune.
it is actually a bad thing. So that would have been the perfect thing. Like, oh, if I had counterspell up there, you get to deal with it, you know, his very desperate play there. I could actually lose to those bombs, but other than that, I don't care too much.
Now watch as I pull.
What is the spell that we get here? Summon 2/2/2. That's pretty good, I guess. You get a little more board control. That is like one of the only forms of spell casting that we get that's diverse outside of the, you know, just very limited secrets that we have. So it's a random one thing. It could fuck you over though, potentially too. But at least if it's something that targets a minion, it couldn't possibly target mine. So there's a certain internal bias there too. Like, oh, I got Fireball, but it could either hit me in the face or it'll hit them or one of their minions. Now at least he has targets to use removal on those stupid 2/2 zombies, which will still get Spellbender on them, and then you'll get... I don't really have the iconic play of the Troll against Spellbender, though that really is what I want. Okay, everybody just baits everything out too much. So, like, they know that it's gonna happen, but... You have 10 mana crystals, keep all 3, do 10. I mean, he's putting up a pretty good fight, and he's basically got an infinite loop with this that's almost making it unfun, right? It's just too much. Like, what the fuck is this, dude? We're still getting him pretty low, but he's going to have an answer for everything, but at least the values that we get now are pretty satisfying. Even when you're in top deck mode, like, right? Like, if I keep drawing elusive minions, or even if they're not elusive, they're still going to be so hard to deal with. So it is pretty worth it. Now you're going to get fucked if you do draw a secret or some other low cost minion. So this is where like that lore keeper would be good, right? Where you just reverse the cost from highest cost to lowest cost. Okay, dude, come on. Over a temporary, that means you would have to play it this turn, I guess, but that's fucking bullshit, man. What do you mean temporary? I'm still gonna fucking lose somehow. But still, he's having a lot of trouble dealing with these things. It's an intense matchup, but if he has a way to deal with this, I'm fucked. Or he could summon his own taunts and slow the game down. Bro, come on, bro. Come on. You're so fucking annoying. Bro. How do you have an answer for fucking everything in the universe, bro? Like, how? How can you do that? This is a fucking 6 mana, 4/16, elusive taunt, divine shield, everything. And you get the one thing that can fucking deal with that. You're so fucking stupid. Now he's easily gonna kill me with some weapon or some other bomb or dumb shit. Even this does one. But yeah, I would use... He thinks he's me from like fucking 10 years ago where I would do that. You know, but he's done it in a more irritating, contrived way. Like... with all the bombs and even Iron Juggernaut. So I did it before even all the other bombs existed. I just did Iron Juggernaut raw with the Brewmasters just to try to get as many of those mines in as you could. But then I also tried to do it in the basis of when those other bombs came out. There's like the 3/3 that puts it in there. There's like the weapon obviously that we saw. There's like the 5/5. There were a whole bunch of other ones that shuffle bombs in your deck. You would do that on top of it.
Versus Arthas.
There's the clown face Arthas that I always make fun of.
Behold the magic of death.
So I'll keep those just for the heck of it. Death Knights can be tough because they're going to fill up the board a little bit too much in a way that is... Okay, come on, bro. If we get it on curve still the same way, it could be good. We did get that one cool card back. I should use that one instead. The one with like the island on it. Alright, that's fine. I hate doing it just as a curve play, but we're never really going to get to do it on... I guess we could do it on Lotheb and stuff too. It's such a dynamic card that, you know, it's going to be good for a lot of things. Even like I did it with the obviously Iron Juggernaut. But even in there, I would use it on like the Dry Whisker armor to get more armor back and stuff. So any of these flip effects are going to be very dynamic. Yeah, 3 was always a weak point with this deck because you wouldn't have any good 3-cost cards to play. You might just settle for playing a secret ahead of time, but you wouldn't have like this one elusive thing we have now. That's literally the only other thing we have besides all the secrets. You'd have to settle for playing a 2-cost card instead again, so... So the plagues don't even bother me because I should probably win before that happens, but... You know, this is okay for now, but playing this on sort of an empty board isn't the best, because that'll make it too easy to target with spells. It's better as a complement when you already have elusive stuff out there. Now if you try to do it, try to use a spell to get rid of something else, or whatever, try to AoE, then it'll get buffed up as a consequence of that. This card arguably shouldn't even be in there, because it's just too much of a dry static play, but... And yeah, I would almost say I'd make like a full Nerubian deck with all the Nerubians in the game, but a lot of them don't have to do with the anti-spell thing, right? It's all... They all have random different effects. Okay, that's very fortunate that we got that. I'm very happy. I mean, this is really all... Is that a Lorthamar in your hand, or are you just happy to see me? Because, I mean, I'm just happy to be playing elusive minions anyway, but this is the only way that I'm going to have a chance. And if I lose that, and again, I'm not even mad, but... It just feels like if I don't get it, it's kind of boring and just very, very predictable. Yeah, look at his clown smile, dude. Do I even bother doing this? I don't know. This I always know as a character because she's like some big raid boss that I've heard about. I forget from what expansion. Shuffle all 3 plagues into your opponent's deck. Plagues they draw this game are unending. Look how she like clips out of the top of the card art too. Like her hair keeps going above it. Got a little thirst trap effect of your own going on, I guess. Little Findom thing too, like she's asking for money with her little like all these fucking things you see like on TikTok making fun of all this shit. So I would want to do that, but the problem is you're gonna pretty much be obligated to ping the 8-1, or she's like doing some spell there, but when you look here she's just moving her hand. Okay, we gotta somehow... No. Oh, I fucked up. I was trying to do like this and this. I was just kind of considering that. Fuck off. Now I'm going to lose because of that. I mean, I guess I healed still a satisfactory amount, but the turn was pointless. So I could have just pinged it and it would have, well, it would have been basically the same thing. Okay, this guy's using some pretty good shit. We get it, but the board is just too good. That's the thing. Right, I can't win if they beat me on the board. Fuck this fucking curse, dude. The plague. Now, what do I need? I need a taunt. I need a stone drake. I need a draconid. I need something to protect me. Right, that they also can't get rid of, and I'm not going to have it. And look how hard it is to even get to fucking silver over here.
Our gift of frost shields us.
Gain 5 armor. I mean, if I get a taunt, I still have a chance, right? That's just okay. I can't complain though. I mean, I still got it. Obviously, he's just putting way too much pressure on the board. That's the sad part. It doesn't even come down to the plagues. It's like I can't beat him in a basic board control match, and that's the only point of what this deck is about. We haven't gotten one single good interaction from Talon. Either I'll get Lord Thamar first, or I just won't even get a chance to play him or anything. Okay, you win, dude. We get it. This game always creates that vibe of like some internal RP, like, you know, who would win, you know, Khadgar or Arthas or whatever, if they were actually fighting 1v1, even though you're not really fighting directly like that. You're just more like a commander, but it's sort of like what Heroes of the Storm was supposed to be, to sort of simulate that. Make them think it's Icewalk. But that obviously failed, and obviously you have Warcraft 3 is a better example. They should have made Warcraft 4, but instead they want to make fucking just milk WoW for all it's worth. Like, I'm not addicted to Blizzard games. I stopped playing WoW back in like 2011, before, you know, right when Cataclysm was coming out. So I'm not addicted to Blizzard games. Also, what did I do from that point on? Oh, I became addicted to Hearthstone, or I played what other? I guess it's mostly just been this, or like Overwatch. I didn't play much, but you know, you can break your addiction to WoW, but you can't break your addiction to Blizzard games overall, because they're just too good and too diverse and too inevitable. And it would have been Warcraft 4 if they had done that. Bro, give me a taunt. There are a number of them in there. I mean, the four cost mech, whose name I just refuse to acknowledge. You have the, sometimes they won't try to kill you though, because they just assume it's Iceblock and they think that'll set them back too far. But you know, like, oh, they'll try to go face and it'll fuck them up and they'll end up losing. But what you have is you have there is power in the bluff there. You have the ability to have, okay, you have the 4 cost taunt, you have the 2 Draconids, you also have something else, the Stone Drake. Oh look, wait, what? I don't care about the plagues even as much. I care more so about the board, and fucking just fucking end it. But he's not, because he's being stupid, right? Like, I even said well played earlier. Look how that gets cut off though. Is it AAA game, by the way? What is this shit? Small indie company. Yeah, what if it goes to 3 digits? Like, can you not even have over 99 corpses? 99 corpses, but I'm not one. Haha. Because I'm still alive. But no, I'd like to test that one game. Like, can you actually get it over that? You never really see that happen. Or I had like some theory that they should make a card that's, and the plague would actually kill you even through Ice Block. That's the thing. Maybe that's what he's hoping to try to do. So it's like he'll never know whether I had Ice Block or not, because he was trying to play around it by just simply letting the plague do it, right? Because when it happens on your turn like that, with the, for example, with the Iron Juggernaut, right? That's exactly what would happen. And so you have the ability to, but yeah, like if you get 50 corpses and you play a card, you just auto win the game. Similar to what I said, like with Archimon, there should be like an Archimon card that's like, if 50 minions have died this game, I said that before the corpse mechanic was even a thing, you destroy the enemy hero. So it's like you're trying to, which might have been hard to do at that point. I mean, that is a lot. 50 minions is not necessarily something that's happening every game. It might sound sort of outrageous, but it's not really that crazy.
Khadgar versus Rexa. I hear the call of the wild.
Okay, I just wanted to get to silver 10, but now maybe we'll just give each of these decks one more chance. If I lose with this and I lose with that again, I'll just stop. But I wasn't expecting to do this shit all day. And again, a Hunter could be a matchup that's very, or actually maybe this is just the last one. I'll just go till I lose or get to silver 10. So just this is the original one or whatever, just the first one that I was using. You got to get to Lorthamar. Oh, I wanted to change the card back too. I forgot. Some of the hunter pictures look kind of silly. Like this dude's just a clown. Yeah, the amount of class and just design this game has in terms of its appearances, its backgrounds, its music, its emotes, its heroes, right? Like that is something that supersedes anything else. I don't know if I should do that or not. Oh, fuck. Return it to their hand, which means I guess I'll just never play it then. But I just didn't want to play this because it's too easy to get rid of for the simple fact that I guess you could play it. It's just free, but unless you're doing it for like some spell interaction. Yeah, the way sometimes people treat certain games is sort of cynical and unfun. Like, you can do so many fun things with it. That doesn't mean you can't still play in the meta and stuff, but at some point, don't you get tired of it? And I guess I'm not even the right person to say that because, you know, I've done it obviously in the past a certain amount, but I just don't play the game enough. If I did play the game a lot, or like if this was the only thing I played, I would do that, but then I would still do this. Like, I'd get to Legend and then I would get bored of it, and then I would try some other gimmick or, you know, whatever. That's what you should do. Like, try to get to Legend once an expansion, but then, you know, the rest of the months or something, do something else fun. So I can't coin anything out, and so that's a little bit unfortunate. I guess Snipe is one of the things that's very good against Elusive as well. Right, that's going to bypass. Secrets are going to bypass it. AoEs are going to bypass it. Stuff that just summon, you know, asphyxiate and stuff like that is going to do it. Twisting Nether is going to do it. Silence is going to do it. So there are a number of ways to deal with it. Imagine how sad that is, that I would get a higher cost spell when the only thing I have is fucking secrets. Maybe that would have been better to do, the stupid ass thing. Hairy spider is one of everybody's phobias, even if you don't, you know, even if you don't have arachnophobia. Who wants a hairy fucking spider around? An oversized one, like, what, just another day living in Australia or the American Midwest, Southwest, whatever. That's why, like, so many people say, oh, phobias, you have a fear of dying. Like, oh, wow. Like, everybody doesn't have a fear of dying. Like, you want to die? Like, you don't have to be afraid of it, but you still don't want it to happen. Like, oh yeah, you're not afraid of spiders, so you wouldn't mind having a fucking tarantula crawling up your arm. Like, there's a difference. Oh yeah, do you have a phobia of tigers? No, I don't find them scary, but I wouldn't want one to be around me and fucking ripping me apart. Like, so many, oh, you're scared of the water. You might not be scared of the water, but you don't want to be drowning. Oh, I'm not scared of heights, but you don't want to be falling off a fucking tall building. So, like, everything is just a rational, like, you know what I mean? It's just, I guess the way to explain that is, like, you don't want to be on top of a tall building. You're not in any danger of falling off, but you're still not, you just don't want to be up there. Or you don't want to be on a plane. That I can sort of understand, but it's still rooted in the possibility, right? Your phobia is still rooted in a real possibility of, what if the plane crashes? What if the building collapses? Or what if, you know, something... I guess saying those two back to back is not the best age statement. That's not what I meant. What if the two happen together? But no, it's like, what if I fall off the building? Or what if something happens? You know what I mean? What if I'm on a plane and it crashes into the sea or something? Right? Which does happen, but not very often. It's just... So now I'm very happy to see this play out. Yeah, even this would be one of the taunts that I'd be saying I always want. This is turning into PvZ Heroes, where it takes me like fucking a century to get a few ranks. Which that one I think I'm gonna fail just because I can't fucking play the game enough, but this will be one of those cases where I don't play this tomorrow though, because sometimes I'll play it like overlap in a way that... Oh man, I keep misclicking stuff actually. I was trying to fucking do that. I don't know why. I'm using like a different mouse, but it shouldn't be like... I keep like sort of considering playing it, but then I just actually keep doing it. Well, that is actually fucking stupid. Like, why? He would have been able to do that no matter what, but this would have at least absorbed one of them. That's what I do in chess. Like, I'll mouse over a move. Theoretically, it's like the touch move rule that you shouldn't do in terms of... Forge, discover and cast 2 secrets. Fuck. This has gone pretty well considering the fact that I was even saying a hunter is a bad matchup. And so what you'd really want to happen is you want to... okay, that's what you want. What you want is the simple reality to get to the point where you're, you know, I wasn't losing on the board too badly. I'm not losing in health too badly. I got to play Lothar comfortably. And now it starts to become very difficult for them to deal with everything I'm doing. Deal 7 damage to a random enemy. Okay. Not really too crazy, but... Give each other friendly beast bonus effect. Elusive as well. Bro thinks he's Tyrantus. Tyrantus wannabe. The original fucking awesome 10 mana 12/12 elusive, even though it wasn't, it's better now. I like when they buff those old cards like that. Cast a spell, destroy a random enemy minion. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, or I should have pinged it or something. I don't know. You may as well just get these things out of... Oh, that was worth it. Because it negates the effect then. Right, because I was like sort of wasting it on a trade, but... I'm still in trouble. See, now I still got to keep getting taunts or relying on... If I get like one turn where I don't draw into a big minion, I'm fucked, because... That's why you need something like this, basically. Was that really even worth it? Because you wasted the effect of the... of that death rattle. Pretty good, actually. Wow.
Why, thank you.
That helps to even damn, that's one of the best spellbender things. Not only is it not, you know, potentially absorbing a spell, but it's actually killing, or it's actually buffing itself up and becoming a meaningful board presence when I otherwise didn't have one. So that was amazing. Ah, fuck. You go ahead, you kill that, and then we're gonna cuck his spell use a little bit. And then we're also going to have splitting image. Now, if we do this, it's going to be the same exact minion as what it is, right? It's not going to be... I forget how that entirely works. It's not going to be a 1/3 spellbender. It's going to be the exact same state. See, now I'm at the mercy of the top deck, which has happened a number of times here. I don't even care about going face. Like, I want to win on the board anyway, but he's done a surprisingly low amount of damage to my face for a hunter. That's not the greatest, but we will get the elusive, or I mean, we will get the poisonous to kill that. So I'm pretty happy with that as well. What is it that it's doing when it dies? Does something when it dies. Well, how about you tell me what? Oh, +3/+3, death rattle, summon a chameleon. Oh, but for me. Oh, shit. Also known as Kamala Harris, how she keeps changing all her positions at least. Forget about the other use of that where, oh, you know, how she's black and she's Indian. Like, I don't care about that, although there is a certain pandering identity politics that goes on. But the bigger picture is that you would basically just be in a position to doesn't matter because that's poisonous anyway, and we'll just sort of wait. I'm not even gonna attack in. Like, whatever his shit is, let's just play it out. But yeah, how she, like, you know, you see how inconsistent the treatment is. Oh, Donald Trump flip-flop on abortion a little bit from one week to the next with like something he said in Florida, right? But she's flip-flopped on every fucking thing completely, like 180, right? Like, oh, I'm banning fracking. Now I'm not banning fracking. Now I'm, again, defund the police. Now I'm not defund the police. Or, just every little thing. I'm going to ban straws. Like, she said so many stupid things that she can just 180 flip-flop on everything and she's still fine. But the poisonous here is beautiful. Wow, this is really an awesome game, though. I guess that was worth it. Wait, what? Oh, I didn't realize he had rush even. I kind of like the poisonous being out here because I'll still do it, or I don't know. Feels like a waste of poisonous to do that. So we're not even going to attack phase for now because we get to... This is where they become really annoying because you can't just finish it off with a dinky spell or a ping or something. It's not the cost of lowest cost, highest cost spells in your hand, but whatever it is still going to be expensive and countered. Assuming, okay. But shouldn't that have been higher cost then if it... I guess it was 4. But that, whatever. What I'm doing that's wrong though is I'm overcommitting to the board a little bit. And the reason why I'm doing that is because of the simple fact that I'm still erring on the side of caution with those stupid ass secrets. I don't want to fuck up the advantage I have, right? But I have that lifesteal still intact too, so this is fucking awesome though. See, this is the kind of moment you want to see. Even if I somehow lose this game, you've gotten a really good board and you can flex it. I may be even being a little bit too patient, but I want to just get rid of everything he has first. Freeze any character damaged by this minion. Freeze frost spell you cast, okay. Draw a beast. Look what an amazing board we've gotten. Okay, now I'll actually start holding back because... Okay, he gives out. I would have said we've kind of overcommitted to the board a little bit. I was just being overly cautious. Maybe I would have had lethal, but I wasn't even doing it to BM. I was just doing it, period. Right, to play safe and play around the secrets. But when you do it that much, it gets a little bit annoying. It's like playing Magic the Gathering, where everybody will have a board full of minions, but they're too afraid to attack because of the block mechanic. Right, so you just sit there forever. A contest between two masters is decided instantly moment. Like in chess, where you just have all these pieces locked in combat, but not actually doing anything. Alright, this is like the final boss battle. If I win, I get to rank 10. Silver rank 10. If I lose, I get to stop playing. I mean, I guess I'll stop playing either way, but it is, or maybe I'll have to win another one too. I was not expecting this to take this long though.
I see you've brought guests.
But yeah, next time I'll do pretty much the finale episode for this deck. So whether I would have even wanted to make the Trog and stuff, I guess this isn't going to happen. And so I'll try to prepare maybe for Yogg, but I don't know how. Right, I don't have dust for that, so I'm kind of screwed. And maybe we could somehow segue into doing that same Yogg deck on Rogue, because I don't know what else we'll do with Rogue. Sometimes you just wish, like, I wish I had every card in the history of the game, which I almost would have if I just stuck to one collection and I didn't disenchant stuff so much over the years. But, you know, you just want to do it on a whim. I feel like making this today, then I shrink my collection by 75%. Then I'll delete that one too. I want to now disenchant that to make something else, and then I'll shrink it again. So this is start of each turn, lose 1 attack and health. This feels maybe appropriate, but you can get rid of it with the stupid ass ghoul. There's a 3 mana 6/6, or oh no, 3 mana 5/6. So many of these things abandoned, like even what is this supposed to be in the lore? Like, where does this take place? What dungeon is it from? Is there any? It's just, sometimes it's just random stuff, right? At least you give it like some character. Otherwise, like, oh, Goldshire Footman, or, you know, give us a namesake, give us something to go along with it. I was gonna say it'd probably be dead by the time that effect mattered, but I guess not. So now eventually it'll kill itself too. It's one of the rare minions that can actually kill itself, right? Because it'll keep losing health until it dies. Or now it'll have 0 attack, or it'll start getting into the negative attack value and start healing stuff that it hits, right? Which is not a mechanic that actually exists in this game, but it could work that way, right? Where you can go in the negatives. Or no, let's save Lothab, obviously. That was almost another misclick type of moment. We're in a fine spot, but again, we're craving Lorthamar. We have the double Draconins here. We haven't gotten too many good uses out of Duplicate, but it's good. Like your hand is burnt out and empty, like we did last time. And then even when it dies, it'll lose the Lorthamar buff, so it's not really that good. Splitting Image is really good because again, you're attacking into a 4/16 taunt lifesteal, and it will make a copy of that exact thing. And so, or like a 10/18 Sogoth or a 14/14 Draconid. Just seeing these crazy values is itself very fun. But, you know, so you just use Lorthamar in any fucking deck and it's good. I just want to see this guy fucking kill himself. In the game, of course. But what do we got? I guess I won't bother, but it wasn't really much of a threat anyway. Horizon's Edge. Deal 3 damage, randomly split. After friendly minion dies, reopen this. That is very convenient for the fact that, you know, you're doing something that can bypass the whole elusive aspect. You would think you would just use those then. Fuck it. What are you waiting for? Like, really, you got so many fucking uses on them. You're really trying to be cute about it, huh? Bro is trying to be a cutie pie. That is something that Trump said to a reporter once. Don't be a cutie pie. Okay, so now when a minion dies, you get it back all the way. Not even part of the way. Bro is just gonna kill me with what should be a glorified AoE. What the fuck, man? Alright, that's as good as you're gonna get, but I'm still dead. Fuck, so close to silver 10.
You are prepared for the wars to come.
Is that him saying that I'm gonna lose, or is that him saying that he's impressed by that play? One thing is hard is to deal with stuff like this because you have so few targets out there that... okay, how convenient, bro. And you could still kill the thing, but then whatever I summon is just gonna... Okay, dude, okay. Do I maybe give it one more shot with the... I don't even think it'll get me to silver 10, man. Fuck off. Whatever, we saw some fun interactions. That's good enough, I guess. See you later.